Food prices are not down, and I don't think we should acknowledge that they are. And I think that's the one mistake that we maybe have made in the last several weeks, is not just owning it. I don't think President Trump needs to run away from the fact that prices are up. They're up. I mean, there's nothing you can say about it.
I think that messaging that it's not a problem is a problem, because it is a problem for many Americans. They can see prices, they can see how expensive things are compared to where they were 5 years ago. They're not necessarily comparing it with 10 months ago when President Trump took office. They're thinking, these prices are still too high. My wages are not going up by as much as to enable me to pay for those prices. And I think the administration does have to do a better job of at least demonstrating that it understands it's a problem. We're still running at 3%. That's a high number for most Americans who, when they see that building on top of prices that are already much, much higher than they were 5 years ago before the pandemic. We have got a problem with affordability in this country. It is in health insurance. It is to some extent in housing. It is in many, many food prices. It is in some of the things that we're having to import. You know, one of the reasons house prices are going up is because we import a lot of lumber to build houses. We need those houses to get the housing supply up and prices down.
We got an economy that's designed for the wealthiest folks. The top 20% are doing extraordinarily well, and they've done all the heavy lifting. Now, here's the thing. If the market wobbles and they get a little nervous and they stop spending, where does the spending come from? We need opportunity. It's not necessarily spending. We need opportunity.
I mean, it's hilarious watching these people as guests on Fox News, afraid for their lives to say that, in fact, the prices are up. Literally afraid to share actual data, to share actual numbers for fear of all the anchors being afraid to anger their dear leader, Donald Trump. I think it's a problem that he says things are affordable because they're not affordable. Am I allowed to say it? I know that some things are down, but not everything is down. I mean, this is Fox News struggling to run cover for Donald Trump's failing economic policies, and they will use the most obvious disingenuous arguments to counter raw, hard facts. Prices are up overall. Yes, but how come this Walmart turkey dinner is down?
Walmart just announced that the prices for a Thanksgiving dinner is now 25% down 25% since under sleepy, crooked Joe Biden.
Clearly prices are down. And the guy literally had to say to him, yeah, that's one meal that is down. And then most food is up. And by the way, fun fact, if you didn't hear it, they know that they're misrepresenting even that one meal. It's 25% down because the economy is doing so poorly that they had to replace name brand items in that Thanksgiving dinner with generic brand items and had to reduce the amount of offerings in the meal from like 25 things in the Thanksgiving dinner to 17 things. So it's 25% down with like 35% or so of the items it offered the previous year. Therefore also meaning the prices are actually up. But, you know, you do the math on yourself there. I think the president's got to stop saying that, I mean, if he wants to just stop saying that prices are down because they're up, but he could say it if he wants. Gas prices are down and eggs are down, you know. Target said 2,000 items have dropped, but their 5% prices are up overall. So if you just buy only the things that they dropped and you don't understand how generally economies work or overall pricing works, then prices are down. You know how prices are really down? If you don't leave the house. If you stay home and then don't also order anything online. If you just stay with what you got currently and don't buy anything or participate in the economy, prices are way down. Your prices will go 100% down to zero. And that's thanks to President Donald Jesus Trump. The J stands for, geez, these savings are incredible of all the things that have gone up in price. We're all very confused.
You know, unfortunately, Trumponomics has too much in common with Bidenomics. You know, the biggest problem is the runaway government spending that is continuing under this administration. So we're going to have bigger deficits that the Fed is now going to be funding with rate cuts, and I think a return to quantitative easing. And all that means is that life is going to get a lot more unaffordable under Trump than it was under Biden.
But President Trump will be honing in on this tour about his fact that gas prices are lower, the billions of dollars of investment in energy and AI sectors, just a litany of things that he'll do. Will it resound with Americans?
Yeah, well, I mean, gas prices may be a little lower for now. I don't think they're going to stay this low much longer. But most other prices are higher. I mean, yes, they're not rising at 9% a year yet, but they're continuing to rise. And so if people can afford things before Trump was elected. Those things are more expensive now. And I think that the inflation rate is going to accelerate, as Trump's term progresses, and the policies continue to impact prices.
I mean, Fox's constant cover-ups in real time on live TV in front of everybody is so funny that people don't pick up on this. They're so hypnotized. Literally, the guest says, prices will be worse under Trump than under Biden. And the guy goes, well, but Donald Trump will be going on his tour where he will be sharing his fact that gas prices are down. And the guy's like, yeah, okay, so gas prices are down. Again, the economy is doing worse, he immediately says after. And just the anchors keep at every turn. Their only response is like, yeah, but President Trump says things are good. And if we don't really counter-argue every fact you say, he won't come on our show anymore via telephone, angrily ranting from the bathrooms of the White House. Oh, my Lord.
All this is an attack on the Trump boom. The stock market is telling you that there is a boom going on, okay? And people ignore the stock market in politics. I understand that. But the reality is all these people, their 401ks are exploding upwards.
But it feels
They're
like the
creating a
popular
lot of
thing
wealth.
right now is to talk about whether or not this boom is about to bust.
Popular thing.
What do you? It's all over. It's every headline. It's like
the left.
I'm not making the case.
No,
Larry.
wait,
I'm just saying.
You mean the left-wing media? Those folks?
It's the prices.
They
It's
don't.
the prices.
I think that is a made-up issue. Again, it's an attack on Trump's economic success that he's had.
Grocery prices are still up, right? People are still paying more
eggs
for groceries.
are falling rapidly.
Eggs
that
are
was
down,
the big thing.
different story,
Food prices by barely 3% year on year, and they're doing some smart things.
Okay.
So they're going to end the tariffs on coffee beans, which was silly. They're going to end the tariffs on bananas, which was silly. There'll be other fruits too. We should focus on national security issues.
Larry Kudlow, that curmudgeon, that crypt keeper. I think affordability is a made-up issue. It's a made-up issue. He says, I understand that politics ignores the stock market, doesn't count that. Why though, Larry? Why? Because people are elected to represent the interests of 100% of the country and not the 10% of the country whose money is in the stock market. Nearly the entirety of wealth in the stock market is owned by the top 10%. So I don't understand why they ignore it. I mean, I get it, but I don't get it. You don't get it because you're in the top 10%, and most people don't get affected by stocks bouncing up and down or doing well under Trump overall. They're affected by groceries. He goes on in that same video to say, in that same interview, to say, well, I think more important is computer chips than bananas. And the host goes, well, I mean, people do buy bananas more often than computer chips. And he goes, well, so don't tariff bananas. I mean, these people don't live normal lives. I don't think Larry Kudlow's eaten a banana in decades. He doesn't look healthy enough to be eating bananas. Bananas are very good for you, and he's probably eating cigarettes.
Affordability is an issue, but what's the bigger issue for me is how these exotic new financing tools have been made available for consumers. Buy now, pay next year. Buy now, don't pay for 3 years. Buy now, never pay. And when we have this drug that people have, which is this access to credit, people are going to buy things that they don't need. And while we hear people talk about affordability, when you walk up and down New York City, you see a lot of people coming in and out of stores and a lot of people with bags. So is it affordability, or are people just not feeling comfortable with what they're spending their money on?
Oh, and now it's that people are spending too much, and because of credit, they're buying the wrong things. It's their fault. It's people's fault for spending money on stuff that they shouldn't be buying. Yeah, it could be that. It could be the played out talking point of the right that if people just manage their money better, or it could be the pervasive corruption and inequality in the system that's an essential part of our modern day economy, and leaders that institute policies that still continue to make that wealth gap bigger and bigger between the haves and have-nots in this country. Could be that, or it could just be you're buying stuff you can't afford because you're not buying enough computer chips and you're buying too many foods. Don't buy so much foods, and again, keep yourself locked inside in a box, preferably, where you have access to no part of the outside world, and you will see your costs drop right through the floor and not be able to enjoy the savings either. I'm Ben Gleib, Rebel HQ. You can follow me at Ben Gleib on Instagram for so much more, so please do that. Okay, thanks. Great talking with you. Bye.